So while recording this, my computer just, decided to freeze, and I lost like 7 minutes. It was only 7 minutes. Nothing much actually happened, other than Lil Pip's drug addiction just keeps clawing its way in there. So let's continue.
Magic to plow a path through the blackened pony skeletons that covered much of the floors. Red dots speckled my EFS compass. Foolishly, my first thought was that of ghosts that the merchant pony with the mechanical owl had told us about. In a way, I wasn't entirely far off. "Who?" demanded a little robot owl as it soared into the hallway. I froze.
Fucking owlicious.
Not in fear, but utter astonishment. Hostile robot security.
It's probably got laser eyes.
The mechanical owl opened its beak, and a thin line of pink magical energy sliced through the air, striking the blackened vase on a magazine.
No laser eyes?
The vase flew backwards, glowing fiercely pink, and disintegrated into a fine glowing ash before it could hit the floor. So yes, really. I heard Calamity's battle saddle firing somewhere else on the floor. I slid my combat shotgun from its holster, floating the muzzle towards the mechanical bird, and nearly shot Velvet Remedy as she charged in front of me, spearing the metal creature with her horn.
Why would you run in front of
caught between panic, relief, and anger
pony
as
with
Velvet Remedy
shooting
drew up to a halt, her eyes locked now on the inert robot impaled on her horn. She shook her head, trying to dislodge it. "Little Pip," she finally said, sounding desperate and looking comical. "A little help, please?" "Only if you promise not to run in front of a loaded gun again." She stopped, looking at me with that dead robot owl on her horn, her eyes wide as her gaze fell on my floating shotgun. "Oh dear."
What the fuck were you thinking?
"Oh dear indeed," I said grimly, even though my anger was bleeding away. I wrapped the skewered owl with my magic and pulled it free. I wanted to be mad, but she just looked so cute like that.
No, be mad!
Fat, fat, fat. The bullet tore through the first owl, setting its internal components on fire as it went. 2 more passed harmlessly through the air.
You should not say someone looks cute and then include the words fat, fat, fat. Okay? Okay. Cause my mom... Ugh.
Impacting the kitchen wall beyond with flashes of flame. As the mechanical guardian fell, I switched targets with the practiced perfection of Sats. Pulling the trigger again, I sent 3 more bullets at the second owl. A razor line of pink struck my back, burning painfully, but mercifully not turning me into fine pink dust.
Lil Pip.
Without even waiting to see the second mechanical owl fall.
Okay. You get shot a lot. You get shot a lot. Maybe you should try to get some power armor, or learn to dodge, because one of these... You're going to need one of these, because otherwise you're just going to get headshot one day. Either learn to dodge or get some fucking power armor. Even Raider power armor. I mean, it's crap, but it's still power armor.
Around to point at the one behind me, and telekinetically pulled the trigger again. 3 bullets, a whoosh of flame, and the third owl fell to the floor ablaze. The air smelled of ozone, burning wiring and bubbling robotic innards. Exhausted, the targeting spell fell away. I looked around, but I had gotten all of them. I checked the clip on the Zebra rifle. I was quickly using up the armor-piercing ammunition that the Zebra rifle could use. The weapon didn't seem to have the ability to fire just 1 bullet at a time, and it only took 1 to punch through these creatures.
Yeah, that's fucking right.
I needed to change weapons, but the combat shotgun had already proven too inaccurate at the ranges I preferred to engage these creatures at. They were easy to kill, but their magical energy weapons had a chance, even if slim, of disintegrating anything they hit. I didn't want them to get close enough to have a good shot. I suspected Little Macintosh had more than enough firepower to punch through the metal skin of these things without using armor-piercing ammunition. Which was good, since Little Macintosh was the only weapon that I didn't have armor-piercing ammo for. Other than the dart gun, which was completely useless against these little things. Switching weapons, I started towards the wall of refrigerators, intent on finding out what goodies the Ministry of Morale had packed with an eternity's worth of preservatives on this floor.
Yeah.
Every other floor of the MOM hub had a kitchen, even if it was just a small one.
Really? Every floor?
There were more kitchens than bathrooms, which I couldn't imagine was logistically sane.
Yeah!
And some floors like this one were nothing but kitchen.
But
the posters on the walls in here were all brown and flaking, or burned away entirely. But the ones...
Well. Oh my god. Why is it Camtasia auto defaults the fucking face cam microphone? Oh my god.
I actually made a government industry out of turning out birthday parties for good little fillies and colts. You were good this year, little Pip. Trust us, we know. So here's your cake, sent straight from the Ministry of Morale, with a birthday card signed by Pinkie Pie herself. What I imagined was ridiculous and impossible, but I somehow also believed it was actually true. Velvet Remedy stopped me, insisting on looking at the wound on my back before letting me move another yard.
Yeah,
So, I
you're
sat
lucky
on
that's
my
not a
haunches and
spinal
stared
injury.
longingly at the first refrigerator door. You and Calamity, Velvet Remedy tut-tutted. When I dreamed of being a medical pony, it was to spend my life helping ponies. Multiple. Not just two over and over again. You could always just let me— Ow! I flinched as she pressed something that stung into the burn before pouring a pleasantly cool gel over it. There. It will be good as new in no time. A little pink, maybe, and it may take a few days for your coat to grow back, but it won't scar. Not like the line left on my neck, she meant. And just trying to get him to take a bath is like trying to shove an apple through the eye of a needle. Once Velvet Remedy had gotten onto the topic of Calamity, she
Water
just
is
didn't stop.
precious, don't you know?
I wanted to cover my ears with my hooves, but I couldn't do that and walk. At least her voice dropped now, made more timid by the hallway's decor. We had made it up to one of the many floors that had been dedicated to sifting through the massive amounts of intelligence garnered through having tapped into every private conversation transmitted by arcano technology like the terminals.
Oh my
The Ministry of Morale had
god.
been listening. All along the dark corridor were smoke-blackened posters of Pinkie Pie. They were watching us. The eyes seemed to follow as we moved. The bold word "forever" glared at the bottom of each poster. Creepiest and most disturbing hallway ever. I floated out one of the cupcakes we found in the fridge and took a bite. It was a little stale, but still surprisingly edible after 2 centuries.
It's all them preservatives.
Whoever had made them was either a goddess of cooking or a very dark enchantress. Shoots without thinking, like he shot the dragon before we could even try to talk to it. Like how he shot you. I was still ignoring her as we reached the end of the hall.
Probably a smart
Left,
thing to do.
right, or through the doors ahead. I felt myself beginning to come down from the party time mint owls. First chance I got, I was taking another.
Oh
I
my
really
God.
couldn't risk crashing in such a place so dark and freaky. Or, for that matter, around Velvet Remedy when she was being such a— Whoa! I'd pushed open the doors and found myself staring into the sky. An office room 3 times the size of a stable atrium spanned out in front of us, filled with rows and rows of desks with terminals that then dropped away into empty space. The sun was just moving down below the cloud cover, painting the sky an apocalyptic orange.
That
And I'd somehow forgotten that half of the
sounds
building was
awesome.
gone. For the first time in weeks, I was suddenly hit by massive, crippling vertigo. I'd become accustomed to the hugeness of outside, but to have it suddenly and unexpectedly thrown in my face awoke the agoraphobic filly inside of me. Carefully, shaking slightly, I closed the door. Could actually like a brute like him? Velvet Remedy stopped for a breath. I thanked Celestia for the moment of quiet,
She
viciously
just don't
praying that
shut
she could
up,
send
does
Velvet
she?
Remedy's voice on a lunar vacation.
Jeez.
By my estimation, we were a floor above where the scooter had gotten caught. Collapsed stairwells had forced us to ascend higher, and now we were looking for a way back down. It just makes me so mad, Velvet Remedy burst out with a stomp. So much for the power of prayer. You know, I really think I should reconsider my options. There's plenty of other stallions in the equestrian wasteland. I felt a pang of jealousy. Started digging a hole to bury it in. Or, Velvet Remedy said with a sudden sweetness. I froze. I
Don't.
could feel her breath on my left ear.
Don't, Velvet.
When had she gotten so close? With a sultry voice as smooth as melted chocolate, she suggested, or maybe a mare. I felt my knees go weak.
You are fucking with Little Pip. That is cruel. We all know that you're straight. So why are you screwing with her? Like, and the story's mostly told from Little Pip's paws, so we may never know. I mean, there might be a legitimate reason, but don't lead her on. That's fucked up.
My heart skipped a beat. My insides became flushed with heat and my stomach filled with butterflies. Then, cold hard reality crashed over me, dousing the heat and killing the butterflies with frost. I turned on her, instantly and coldly furious. No!
Yeah!
Velvet Remedy took a surprised step back. No. You are too perceptive to not know that I have a crush on you. I stepped forward, my voice cold and sharp. You do not get to play with my heart. Offer me what I've yearned for, just to try and get back at Calamity.
Yeah!
Velvet Remedy backed up, ears back, stammering. For goddess's sake, Remedy, I barked. You are a follower of Fluttershy. You don't get to be that evil. Velvet Remedy's eyes were wide. Her ears were pasted back against her skull, and she was cringing from me. Good. I turned and walked away, not wanting to look at her again. I left her still standing back there as I turned the corner. Something was tearing apart inside me, and I didn't want her to see it. You're not supposed to be here, called out a voice that sounded disturbingly like a mechanical Pinkie Pie.
Oh,
You've
no.
been a bad pony.
No!
The Spritebot's grill glowed an angry reddish pink, and it aimed its magical energy weapon at me.
Oh, it's only a Spritebot.
Where are they all coming from? Cried out Velvet Remedy as 5 more Spritebots rounded the doorway and started vaporizing our barricade of tables and refrigerators. I knew the answer, but I didn't have time to explain it aloud. It was obvious, really. Before there was Watcher watching everyone, there was Pinkie Pie.
Oh.
Of course the Spritebots were hers. I imagined them floating along the streets of pre-war Ponyville, Appaloosa, Manhattan. Ubiquitous. Everywhere. Bobbing along and playing cheerful tuba music and all the other happy little nonsense songs that they played. Little ambassadors of good cheer from the Ministry of Morale. Little spies. I fired off shot after shot, ducking down only to reload. The waves were coming faster now.
Equestria was not going to last very long, was
I
it?
could finish them all off. Fortunately, they were easy targets. They didn't seem to understand evasion. The clarity of PTMs had faded away, leaving my brain sluggish. Every moment not spent aiming and firing was spent hoping for a chance to eat another Mintow. But with Velvet Remedy crouching right next to me, there was no way to do so. I was still coldly angry with her, and the last thing I wanted to do was give her the satisfaction of seeing something she'd interpret as proof that she was right. I did have to wonder why this floor, though. 4 more swooped in through the shattered window.
Perhaps there's something
I threw a
important.
refrigerator at them. 3 were crushed by it. The 4th one was knocked away. Beside me, Velvet fired her Needler pistol over and over at it.
I just keep seeing
She was a
the
bad
Needler
shot,
from
but finally
Halo.
hit. The needle bounced off the armored bot harmlessly. The bot returned fire, slicing through her mane. Fine,
Yeah, she didn't
bristled
need that.
with ladylike resolution. I was surprised to feel the combat shotgun float out of its holder. Let's try this one. Blam. The Sprite bot exploded in a shower of sparks. The office had, at some point, actually been quite nice. A huge window gave what would have once been a panoramic view of Manhattan. The window was shattered inward, the frame ringed with jagged glass teeth. 4 safes, blistered but intact, were built into the wall beside the window. There was a melted desk in front of it. In the far corner was a small
I've been
kitchen.
wondering something for a while, and this has nothing to do with this. I might have brought it up, but I don't think so. If I did, I don't recall you talking about K-Cat. Where are Lil Pip's parents? Like, her mom gets mentioned once, but what about her dad? Are we ever going to see them again? Does Little Pip actually care about them? Because she hasn't really thought about them at all. Like, are they ever going to play a part? Are they ever going to go back to the vault? Because that's one of the funnest things to do, is to return to the vault. See how things go down. But, like, what happened to her parents? Are they around? Are they dead? If so, how'd they die? And vaults are pretty, well, I was about to say vaults are pretty safe, but that's a lie. Vaults are not safe. No. Just keep thinking about them. Like, are they worried about her if they're alive? What? It's the family connections to the heroes that always interest me. Like, the parents in Hercules. I like them. I wanted to see some more about them, and what they think about what their son's doing. But I don't know. Maybe they do come up.
On the counter, a terminal gave off a soft pink glow. I had never
That's
seen
gotta
one
be
before
really
which
hard
didn't
to
glow
look
that
at when you're
sickly apple
typing
green.
and doing anything on the
The
computer.
casing was warped and charred, and it took some of the special tools I had retrieved from Stable 29 just to interface with it.
Like pink,
But the
that's
screen was still readable. In the other far corner of the room, opposite the kitchen, was another blackened skeleton of a
Why
mummy.
are there so many
I was
kitchens
just
and
sitting
so
down
few
trying my effort
bathrooms?
hacking the terminal when I noticed it, and something buried within the bones. Curious, I got up and trotted over. What I had glimpsed was a spot of color, clean, unmarred by the balefire that engulfed this place.
Really?
Looking closer, I could see a small statuette amongst the long-dead pony's ribcage. A young purple unicorn with pink and violet stripes in her lavender hair.
It's
Twilight
inside the
sparkled.
ribcage? How'd that get there?
Gingerly, I floated the statuette out of the
At some point
ribcage and took a
accidentally
closer
eat it?
look. Immediately, I felt a strange wash of clarity that pushed away the cloud that had settled over my brain. The sensation was nothing near as powerful as eating a party time mintal, nor as flavorful. But I couldn't deny that it felt cleaner somehow. On the base of the statuette, "Be smart." Smiling a little, I slipped the statuette away and returned my attention to the terminal. This one was beyond my skill. Not even the new tricks of the trade that I had learned from comparative reading was I able to crack it. "Little Pip," Velvet Remedy started,
What?
approaching me gingerly.
Why-
as I
why
gave
you
up
want
in
now?
disgust. "Please, about before." I stared at her warningly. "Look, just don't talk about it." Biting back a harsher retort. "In fact, why don't you go outside for a little while? I need some fresh air." I could see her deflate a little more at that. She nodded, saying no more, and walked into the office outside the strangely cupcake-shaped door. The moment the door swung shut, I floated out my party time mintals and swallowed one.
Like, what was Velvet
I went for the safes
like,
first,
what was she
picking each
thinking?
one
That
easily.
was just cruel.
And, to my joy, the contents of the third safe held dozens of tins of party time mintals.
Oh my
I was
god.
actually feeling even happier about the find than the 2 stealth bucks I found in the fourth. Then I turned my attention to the defiant terminal as my mind soared to new heights of
Like,
intellect.
Little Pip is the complete opposite of me. If I find Mentats in the safe, I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I find Stealth Boy's like, woo! Like, gee, she's really fucked up, isn't she? Like, oh my god. How are you going to carry them all? They're like the little okay, you got a Pit Boy. I get that. And it's got some bullshit metamagic crap. But I just imagine Lil Pip trying to lug a giant duffel bag of just party time Mentats. Like, Jesus. Girl, you got... She needs to go see a doctor. She needs to get this addiction cured. Jesus.
It 4 more times, forcing me to repeatedly back out of the system before it locked down. But I finally got it. I let out a whoop. "Little Pip?" Velvet Remedy's voice sounded through the door. Timid. Cautious. My shoulders slumped. I sighed. Getting up from the terminal, I walked over to the door and opened it. "Okay. Look. I know you're sorry. And that you didn't mean it. But it doesn't change the fact that you tried to do it. And that's not going to stop hurting anytime soon." She nodded, tears in her eyes. I felt bad.
You know,
Why did I feel bad?
I don't feel bad for her, but that's because since the very beginning of this story, I've had no sympathy for her. Like, any sympathy I had, she evaporates with her beliefs, which are the complete opposite of my personal ones. Like, so... Oh, but then I'm too nice, because I can't stand see anybody cry. Like, goddamn, I'm weird. I'm both an asshole, and I'm too nice a guy. Ah.
I closed my eyes and sighed again. I was seeing the situation more clearly now, even though I didn't want to. Party time mintals were an equal opportunity revealer. And, for what it's worth, I get it. I know what it's like to put your faith in what you believe something to be, rather than what something actually is. I looked for an example that didn't reveal that I had gained effectively no insight from DJ Pony. I didn't want to
Wow.
admit that yet. And fortunately, it didn't take much time for me to find an even better example. When I stepped outside, I was completely lost. I didn't understand any of it. The only thing I understood was stables, or at least that's what I assumed.
No, you
In
don't.
reality, the only thing I understood was stable 2. And when the other stables didn't live up to my expectations, I couldn't handle it well. I kicked up the floor, stirring up ash. Hell, it didn't even take all the bizarre and fucked up social experiments. I get upset when the architecture isn't right. Isn't the same. Isn't what I think is right.
Wow.
Velvet Remedy was staring down at me thoughtfully. When some pony or something doesn't live up to your assumptions of who he is, then you either have to accept that you didn't know him as well as you thought you did and strive to get to know the real him better, or you start, well, doing what I'm doing now, Velvet Remedy offered. Yeah. I smiled at her, then rolled my eyes. And I am totally the wrong pony to be giving this advice when I can't even manage it myself.
That's true.
Thank you, little Pip, Velvet said earnestly, as I disappeared back at the cupcake door to look at the terminal once again. There was only one retrievable bit of data on the terminal. An audio message.
Oh boy. What
Hi,
horror
Twilight.
is this going
It's
to be?
me. I've tried sending messages to you at both your Candlelight office and the one here. Every pony says that you're in Splendid Valley again, so I'm trying you there too. I really hope you're not just avoiding me. I wouldn't blame you if you were. The voice was anxious, sad, and cracked. I knew Pinky's voice. I'd heard it in Vinyl Scratch's memory. This was almost the same, but much more fragile. Possibly even broken. I went to the get-together at Spike's place and brought it like you asked. All my friends were there, but you... Spike said it was because you couldn't get away from your work, but... Was it because I was gonna be there? Twilight, I'm so sorry. You were right. Totally right. I've known it for a long time. I can't... I couldn't. But I will. I've made an appointment at Helping Hoof Clinic. For tomorrow. They're supposed to have stuff there. Medicine that can help make addictions go away. Do you think they might be able to bake the medicine into a cake? Or maybe a pie? I like pie. On the recording, I heard the sound of a knock and a door opening. A second voice interrupted. Miss Pinkie Pie, the Ministry of Wartime Technology has sent us a dozen SEAL Rangers. They're in position with our agents. Again, Pinkie Pie spoke, but addressing the intruder pony.
Oh.
She didn't bother to edit the recorder, just let it keep reporting. Oh, those 4-star ponies are some bad ponies. They need to be banished. Then locked up in the place they were banished to. But first, we need to get their secrets from their
Fucking lying.
bad pony heads to make sure there aren't many more of them. So tell my ponies that we want them alive. Oh, I know. Have them go into one of my Pinky balloons. The intruding pony seemed unsure, taken aback by the suggestion. Miss, you want us to raid 4 stars using a giant blimp shaped like your head?
Yeah! Best
I want them to know
assault
I'm coming
ever.
for them. I couldn't keep my mind from envisioning a giant pink balloon with the same staring face as the one on the gigantic billboard. I wasn't sure if this was ingenious or insane.
You'll be surprised
On
how
the
often
audio
those are the
recording,
same
I heard the
thing.
click of the door closing. Pinkie Pie returned to addressing her former friend, Twilight Sparkle. Sorry about that. You wouldn't believe what's been going on. But don't worry, if we get through today, everything will be okay. After today, I can do what you want me to. I can try to be your Pinky again. I'm sorry I haven't before, but I just couldn't. I know you won't believe me, but try to remember the Parasprites. I've done bad things, Twilight.
Yeah.
Awful things.
Yeah.
And I've let the ponies in my ministry do even worse things.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really sorry. I don't know if I can be your Pinkie Pie again, but I'll try. That's a Pinkie Pie promise.
Like, it's nice that you acknowledge you fucked up. But the fact that you're not trying to fix it, burn in Tartarus, you cunt. Like, I have no sympathy for people who run dystopian police states. Fuck them.
I...
Like, okay, you're Pinkie Pie, and I will always have a soft
Party time
spot in my
mentals are
heart
bad.
for you.
They mess ponies up.
But
I know
burn
I
in
messed up.
Tartarus,
More than ever.
you fascist cunt.
But I've needed them. Normal old Pinkie Pie is
No,
smart.
no,
and she
no,
can
no,
sense
no.
when
It's
things
not.
are
It's
coming,
not
but
even fascism.
Party
'cause-
time mentality.
Equestria is a monarchy. It's not fascism. It's totalitarianism. Why? I always have problems saying... I can say these words fine when I'm alone or in normal conversation, but on the internet, I start fucking them up. Anyways, no. It's not fascism. See? Oh my god. It's like the webcam just screws up my voice. Or not my voice, my speech patterns. Anyways, oh my god. Yeah, totalitarian. I did it! Anyways, you don't have to be fascist to do that. You don't have to be communist to do that. You could be a totalitarian democracy or, monarchy, because that's what Equestria is. It's a monarchy. So, I don't have any sympathy for totalitarians, Just none. Just none. I always have a soft spot for you, Pinky, but, burn. I don't care about your problems. You're dead to me. I hate the very concept of police states. Just fucking piss me off.
I'll make me more. Not better. I know that now, but more. And we need more. Equestria needs more. On party time Mintows, my pinky sense is way, way more sensy. And it's the only thing keeping us a hoof ahead of really, really bad things. My nose has been burning all day. It's like an itchy nose, only way worse. They're bad ponies, Twilight. And they mean to hurt us. To hurt all of Equestria. And normal Pinkie Pie just can't stop them. But after today, it'll all be okay again. I just know it. Just have to get through today. And tomorrow I've got that appointment, and Twilight, do you think maybe you could go with me? I'm kind of scared. And it isn't the sort of scared that goes away with giggling. I mean, I have you with me now, so you'll kind of be with me anyway. But it's not the same.
That was Pinky's
I want the real
corpse!
Twilight Sparkle.
Oh my god!
I want my friend back. Please? I'll do anything. The recording ended.
That was
I sat there
Pinky's
stunned.
corpse.
There was a whirlwind of thoughts in
Why
my
did she
head,
have the
but
statuette
none of them
inside her
quite came to
ribcage?
focus. Party time Mintows messes ponies up. Pinkie Pie herself said that. But she also said they made her more. I knew that was true. They were making me more right now. Pinkie Pie had wanted to be rid of them, but she couldn't. Not just because she was addicted, but because she had become reliant on the boost in order to do her job. To try to save the lives of millions of ponies. How could that not be more important than one friendship?
Oh, fuck you.
The equestrian wasteland requires sacrifices.
Friendship is magic!
The audio recording
Okay,
had an attack.
god damn it, fuck that shit. Okay? Fuck that shit. Oh, I hate that Monterey Jack so much. Yeah, okay. You're just making up shit to keep your addiction now. I mean, I don't know what more to say. Just, you're wrong. That's it. That's all. Just, you're wrong. Oh. She's just coming up with an excuse to keep doing them. That's what Lil Pip is doing. I'm actually kind of getting a headache from how much that pisses me off. I get, that's how addiction kind of works. Even if you find out that, yeah, you're addicted or it's a problem, you just start coming up with excuses to keep going. So, you got it right, K-Cat. But, oh. I don't know what to say other than fuck that ideology.
Attachment. Error. Connection to Maripony Terminal number 42.
And just because it requires sacrifices
not
doesn't
sent.
mean you should do it all willy-nilly.
Twilight Sparkle
you gotta
had
fight.
never received Pinkie Pie's last call. I have you with me now. My eyes fell on the pony skeleton from which I had retrieved the Twilight Sparkle statuette. A sadness welled up in me. I felt tears falling down my cheeks. Celestia and Luna be with you, Pinkie Pie, I said.
They're
knowing
not
what
gods,
else to
little
say.
Pip. I don't know how to break it to you.
The sun was dipping below the horizon, painting the clouds with streaks of pink and purple. Twilight colors. Calamity and Steelhose were already waiting for us when Velvet Remedy and I reached the floor below and found where the front end of the oversized red racer scooter had lodged tightly into what had once been the frame of a huge window, canted slightly. The massive red model groaned in the wind. "Oh yes, this looks safe," Steelhose commented. Velvet Remedy had pulled up when she saw Calamity, staring at him until he looked back, then averting her gaze. "Okay, I think this time Velvet Remedy and Calamity should go together," I suggested firmly. They had things they needed to talk about, and the sooner they did, the better for them, and for me. I'll go with Steelhose and help levitate him across the scooter. The sky above was growing perceptibly darker. We needed to hurry. I stepped up to the ledge and made the mistake of looking down.
Oh, why you do
Massive,
that?
paralyzing vertigo hit me. We were 14 stories above the alley. The tiny red dots of Manticore spotted the ground far, far below. Another flew through the alley about halfway between me and them. I felt cold sweat break out across my forehead. I didn't think I could do this. "No offense, but I don't want you levitating me, kid. You look like you're about to pass out." "Change of plan," Calamity announced. "Little Pip, get back from the ledge. Catch your breath. Velvet, you go first. Don't worry," he added, seeing her fearful expression. "I'll be there to catch you if you fall. Little Pip, when you're ready, use your levitation to help lighten Steelhose load. After that, I'll fly across." We all agreed. Once away from the ledge, I felt much better.
I'm afraid of heights too, so I
Velvet
sympathize
Remedy went
with you,
first,
little
testing
Pip.
the scooter.
Like,
It vibrated slightly in the wind. It groaned alarmingly as she made it halfway, but it held. For a moment, I wondered why Calamity didn't just fly her across too. But I realized that there was no way he could carry Steelhoofs, and it was better to have some pony lighter cross first, with Calamity waiting to swoop in than to subject the scooter to Mr. Heavy Pony right off.
right.
Velvet Remedy jumped off the back end of the scooter, which stuck up about a pony's height from the red racer terrace it had fallen against. She smiled weakly and gave a little wave. I waved back. That's when I first noticed them.
What?
I spotted the broken scaffolding that had once held the giant red racer scooter several floors above. Nesting within it were the dark, leathery shapes of bloodwings.
The fuck is a
The sun
bloodwing
had sunk
again?
fully beneath the horizon. The light was vanishing.
Fuck,
from
I
the
forgot
sky,
what a bloodwing
and it was
is.
beginning to move.
Was it mentioned?
I levitated out the
Oh,
zebra
God.
rifle, thinking that if I could shoot them while they were all nested together, the fire might take out the whole nest. But Steelhooves was stepping onto the scooter. It let out a bone-shaking whine of protest, and I turned my focus on wrapping him in a telekinetic cocoon, negating the weight of his packs and armor. He probably weighed less than I did now. The first bloodwing spread out its wings and took to the air, hunting for prey.
Oh, god damn it.
Calamity shot it. The form lurched in mid-flight, then dropped gracelessly from the sky. The report sent all the other bloodwings fluttering into the air. Calamity swooped, firing again, and another fell. But two more angled towards him, sensing dinner. The Pegasus spun about in the air and flew, drawing them away from us. Fat, fat, fat. I split my focus between firing the zebra rifle and keeping most of
Alright,
Steelhooves
okay,
weight
it's
off
better
the
in this
scooter.
context because it wasn't.
Focusing on two different tasks
like-
wasn't like lifting two
Oh.
objects, but I could do it,
Still.
just not easily. And I couldn't use the targeting spell without losing my grip on the Steel Ranger. Most of my shots missed.
Yeah,
I
you're
could
over
hear the
relying
boom
on
of
that shit.
gunfire
Use
from
your
Velvet
iron
Remedy's
sights.
position. She still had my combat shotgun, and with her second shot, one of the bloodwings exploded in gore. I saw another flapping high into the air above her. A curving trail of smoke rushed up to meet it. Steelhoof,
Shit, I hit the
the
wrong pause
leathery
button.
wings fluttered downward, no sign remaining of the body they had once been attached to.
Okay, that's a good part to end it on. Alright, like, Equestria wasn't going to last, was it? Like, it had become a totalitarian monarchy where at least one of the dual monarchs was benevolent. I don't buy that Tyrant Celestia shit because Celestia is too incompetent to be a tyrant. Okay? That's my argument. I'm going with it. So at least one of them is benevolent and at least has the majority of love from the country. So, and you know she's not going to let those ministries stay, but the problem is those ministries now have too much power, and like Pinkie Pie said, the ponies in them have done bad things and are continuing to do bad things, so they're used to it. So even if somehow Equestria might have survived, there might be a split between Luna and Celestia again, because this is all Luna's doing, because she's a fucking asshole. At least this version of Luna's a fucking asshole. She might have had her reasons. I'm not saying that she didn't have reasons for doing all this. And, you know, the zebras are clearly... It's clear, nobody really understood the power of the balefire bombs. You said that, KK. It's like the people during the late 40s and early 50s. No one really understood nuclear weapons. Like, the American generals, if Japan didn't surrender, were planning on marching their troops straight through Nagasaki, I believe, yeah, and Hiroshima, because they didn't understand radiation. Nobody did. So again, I understand that, because, you know, this world didn't have the time to catch up and understand the nuclear weapons. So understandable how nobody, the zebras or the ponies, understood. The CMC were just being overprotective, and it kind of worked out. So, still, wiping out cities is a fucking mess. Well, that's all the time I have for today. I'm still wondering about Lil Pip's parents. Do they ever make an appearance or even a mention? Does Lil Pip hate them? Were they bad parents? Is that why she doesn't even give them a passing thought? Still, like, I don't... The closest, like, real-life comparison we have to Equestria currently is the USSR under Stalin, which was hardcore totalitarian, and it didn't last. I mean, it lasted a while-ish, but eventually it just couldn't be maintained. Because even if they won the war, alright, maybe you can maintain this for, like, your police state for, like, 40 years, but eventually people are going to be born who haven't been at war, and it's only been 21 years, so there are people still alive who were before the war, and while people are willing to accept a lot of measures during wartime, and for some this might become normal, there's always going to be dissenters, and I don't think it would have lasted. I just don't think this Equestria would have lasted even if it did win.